And I have a YouTube channel called Here We Are Running, and then just kept going week after week. So after about 2 years, 2.5 years, I had done 100 of them, and that's how it all started, really. You know, I mentioned this on the video, and you got loads of comments with other people getting blisters as well in them. So ordinarily, my favourite distance has always been the half marathon. I always say running makes me happy, so that's why I'm always happy on the video. I wasn't planning it at all. I just went out one day on the trails and ended up running 50k. So.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, really good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm great too. So
Cool.
What time is it in the UK right now?
It is just after 9:30 in the evening, Friday evening. So nice weekend ahead of us.
Good for you. Here it's 4:30. Yes, a little bit after 4:30. I wanted to thank you for taking this interview. I know that you had to settle your many other.
Yeah, just so many demands on me. Yeah.
I know, because you're a dad as well.
Yeah,
there's so
kids
much
are in
to
bed
do.
now.
Yeah, when you have little kids. So yeah, introduce yourself for people who may not be familiar. They've been living under a rock and not familiar with who you are.
Yeah, sure. My name's Chris. I'm from over in the UK, and I have a YouTube channel called Here We Are Running. Covers everything from races, training vlogs, product reviews, pretty much everything to do with running. So yeah, and I've been going on YouTube for about 2.5 years now, and been running for about 4 years, I'd say. 4 years since I started running. So I'd say I was a middle of the road, middle of the pack type runner, not up with the front guys, but somewhere in the middle, and always trying to improve myself.
And get better. And I know that recently you took on a new challenge, because I've seen your videos about it on your channel.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, lockdown has introduced lots of challenges, right. I guess, all over the world, and all the races, of course, here in the UK, like most places in the world, got cancelled. So as a runner and as someone that would have ordinarily been doing, you know, a couple of races a month probably, and training for those, that was no longer on the cards. So instead, I've been setting myself different challenges, really. I found that in the whole lockdown, I've been probably running more than I've ever run. And the challenge I've just completed was to do my first ever sub 20-minute 5K. So we had a little series about that over a 4-week period, just trying to get faster, and managed it. Took me 3 attempts to do it, but we got there. And the one I've just started is to run a faster half marathon. So haven't done sort of focus in the half marathon training for some time now. So it'd be interesting to see how it goes. We're in week number 2 at the moment, and we've got a little 8-week training plan devised that I've created myself. And yeah, we'll work through that, and at the end of it, we'll do a time trial, see how we get on.
Right. So how did you start running? Like, were you someone interested in sports when you were growing up?
I was sporty as a kid, but then, you know, when proper life took over, I didn't really do a lot of sports. I dipped in and out of sports, I would say. And certainly I didn't used to go running at all. And then I got, you know, a middle age now, I got to that stage where you go, you know, I'm not really healthy enough. I need to do more to stay healthy. You know, I'm a father, I've got kids to look after. I need to do more to my health and fitness. And I thought, well, running's a great opportunity to do that. I attempted it a few times to get into it and never really did. And then it was literally 4 years ago, right around now, that I went to my very first park run. I don't know if you've heard of park runs over there. They're not so big in the States, but
they're
massive, massive in the UK. They're all over the place. And so literally a mile down the road from me is my local one. Again, not happening at the moment because of the pandemic, but ordinarily every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, it's a free 5K run. On where my one is, it's a trail type route in the park, and I went down to that. Didn't know anyone there. It was about 200 people, and just loved it, enjoyed it. did that first one in just under 30 minutes, and then just kept going week after week. So after about 2 years, 2 and a bit years, I had done 100 of them, and that's how it all started, really.
Good for you. So when you say that you created your own training plan, are you a coach?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not. No. And I make that clear when I tell people about my training as well. I don't want them to think that this is the gospel. But I've just learned from others. I've learned from myself, from the 4 years that I have been running. And what I tend to do when I'm creating a training plan is I look at various plans available. There's some different ones that I have and that I look at, and I take bits and pieces out of them. I don't like to follow a specific plan. I like to sort of make my own one up, be a bit more flexible. Right. So although I create a plan, it's designed to be flexible. I'm not one of these people that say, right, I've got a plan and every day I've got to stick to exactly what it says on that plan. I'm going to feel really bad if I don't, and if I miss a day, I've got to try and catch it up somewhere else in the week. I'm not really like that. I'll set out a plan which I think is about what I need to be doing, but then all the time I'm thinking, well, do I need to adapt that a little bit there? Or I need to, if I'm feeling in the legs particular day, then I might tone things down. For feeling really good in a week, I might run a bit more than the plan says, so I'm quite flexible when I'm creating my plans and following them, and I always listen to my body, and always trying to not overdo things and potentially get injured as a result. So yeah, that's the way I go about it anyway.
It sounds like it's working, because have you ever been injured?
Yes, I have.
Oh, you have. Okay.
Touch some wood. I recovered from my last injury about a year ago, so injury free for a year, which is, I think, pretty good. But before a year ago, I got injured when I was running my last marathon, and then the year before that, I got injured, I think, just from probably overdoing things too much.
Right. So what is your favorite distance right now? You mentioned
it's a hard one, and it probably does vary a bit, but I think ordinarily my favorite distance has always been the half marathon. I think it's an endurance type run. You can't go flat out the whole time, and yes, it's not. It's a bit more accessible, I'd say, than the marathons. I've been doing marathons. I've only done 2 of them. I had trained for my 3rd, and then of course it got cancelled. But I think, for me, a marathon is a sort of event you might do once a year, maybe twice. Whereas half marathons, you can go out and run a half marathon pretty much whenever you want. So it's just that sort of distance in the middle. It's not too short, and it's not too long either. So that's why I think I prefer it above the other distances. But to be honest, I run 5Ks, I run 10Ks, and I run marathons, and I even ran my first ultra marathon distance, at least, whilst we were in lockdown, which was all a bit crazy. I wasn't planning it at all. I just went out one day on the trails and ended up running 50K. So.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Did you have enough water? Or food or something?
No, not
really.
Just no, but no. So I'm quite fortunate. About a kilometre from where I live, I can get onto the trails, and it's all National Trust land. So you can just run along it for a long distance, and you're not really going onto any roads at all. So I kept on running, and I ran further along it than I had run before. And I thought, maybe I'm not far away now from running half marathon distance in an outward direction. And I thought, if I get to half marathon distance and then turn around at that point, that'll be a marathon when I get back. But I was needing some more hydration. Fortunately, there was a little kind of pop-up type kiosk place that was selling refreshments. So I was able to get a bottle of water there. I was able to get a flapjack. And so that sort of fueled me for a bit further. And then again, when I got nearer home, there was another little cafe that was again selling stuff that I could top up again. So, but as I say, I did that turnaround at the half marathon distance, thinking, well, if I fade, then I'll phone up, I'll get a lift home. But if I don't, I can get a marathon distance by the time I get home. And as I was approaching, maybe I can't remember what it was now, but it wasn't quite home, maybe 5 kilometers away from home, there was another little loop that I could do that if I did it, I knew would add on another 8k to the run. And I thought, this now or never. If I don't do this, I'm not going to be able to say I ran an ultra marathon. So I did it. It was tough going, I tell you. My legs felt it afterwards, but yeah, out of no specific training, I just did that. But it was off the back of just doing a lot of running during the lockdown. Lots of easy pace running, base building,
right.
And I
Which
think
is so good.
Yeah, but by doing that, it had just got me fitter and able to go out and do that. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. I'm not saying everyone should go and do that without any training, but it was good. It was a good thing to be able to say I'd done afterwards. Let's put it that way.
Right. It's good for your self-esteem. Now
Yeah.
you can do it.
I know I can do it. I would be a lot less worried about entering an ultra marathon race now of that distance. I'm not sure about longer distances, but certainly of that distance, I know I can do it. And it wasn't a flat route. There was a lot of elevation in it, up and down.
Which is, that's great for your legs too. Just the elevation, the going up and down, and different, encountering different surfaces.
Yeah, exactly. And as long as you're careful about it and take things easy, then that's approved. Anything's possible. But I don't recommend everyone goes out and does that this weekend.
That's so funny though. And in terms of your favorite race, what has been one that you said, okay, this race beats everything else? Do you have one? Because a lot of people say, sure. Well, when they have to think about it, then they're like, I don't know.
It's really, you know what? There are a number of standout races. I think I struggle to say this particular one. My first marathon was a very memorable race and one that I'll always remember because it was the first marathon. Because it had its challenges along the way, right. But I still managed to get a time that I was really happy with in it. So that was a really memorable one. There's some local ones near just around where I am, which are really, really good events that I always really enjoy doing. And then last year with a team, we entered the Ragnar Relay. You heard of the Ragnar Relay?
Yeah, we have too.
Yeah, we have one in the UK. So we did that. It runs all the way around the Kent and East Sussex coast, and we did that as a team. That was really good, just from the team spirit and again, quite a lot of distance to do and a lot of sleep deprivation. So that was a standout for me.
It's awesome. Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
No, they're great races. I've never done one, but it's on my bucket list. Yeah,
it's definitely something worth doing if you get the chance. Yeah, it's not something like you do at any other time. So yeah. So I think there's a number of races that you could say are real standouts. But I'd really struggle to say one particular one was the one I'd like to do or would like to say. There's still a lot more that I'd like to do. But
which one? I was going to ask you that. What's on your bucket list?
Definitely one day want to do the London Marathon. It's so hard to get into.
Right.
Every UK runner enters it, whether they really are marathon ready or not, and they'll enter it and not really have any hope of getting picked in the ballot. You can get in if you run it for charity, but you have to raise huge sums, be able to raise huge sums for charity. And I think I would always struggle to do that. And to be honest, I wouldn't like the pressure of knowing that you got to raise that amount of money to get a place in there. So that's on my list. If I can, one day I hopefully will be successful in getting in there. The Great North Run. I'm not sure if you've heard of that one. It's a half marathon up in Newcastle.
I have a friend who ran it recently. This last year, I think.
Yeah, now that one's again supposed to be really good. I think it's probably the biggest half marathon in the world, that one, from entries. I was due to run that in September, but that's obviously been cancelled. So hopefully we'll be able to do that next year. I'd like to go abroad. I'd like to do some more abroad, maybe in Europe or further afield at some stage. No specific ones in mind at the moment, but just to experience different things like that. And I would like to now enter a proper ultra marathon race.
Now that you know.
Now that I know I can cover the distance. Yeah.
Yeah. And you strike me when I watch your videos, you're always happy. You're one of those people who never seem to have a bad run, a bad day. It's like you're always smiling. You start your video smiling. You're smiling throughout.
I always say running makes me happy, so that's why I'm always happy on the videos, or mostly happy. There have been times where I've had bad runs, and you're always going to get a bad run. Tomorrow's run might be a bad run. If that ever happens to me, I just know, okay, I've had a bad run today. Tomorrow's run will be different, and just put it behind me. But normally, I go out there. Running makes me happy. Sometimes I do get lacks of motivation to get out the door. It's normally when the weather's really bad, to be honest. The weather, I don't particularly enjoy running in wet, windy weather. Not so bad with cold weather, but wet, windy, that's not the greatest to go out running in. So that comes sometimes, demotivates me a little bit to get out there. But normally I just enjoy it so much. So I'm happy when I'm doing it.
Right. I remember a video in which Dan runs.
Yeah. I've run with him a few times.
Yeah, you ran with, but there was a video, he got you on his channel, and then he was on your channel, and it was like, I'm so jealous, because these are like two happy guys. Because Danny's another one who's always like happy. Even when he pretends to be, I don't know, he wants to complain about
he's
something.
Great. I love
he's a happy guy.
Watching his videos as well. And we ran, it was a trail race. It was about a year ago. I was just coming back from injury, actually. I was recovered, but I wasn't at full fitness. But we ran quite a challenging route. It was in hot temperatures, and again, one with quite a lot of elevation out on the trails. But it was good fun. We stuck together during most of that, and he sped off at the end and finished before me. But other than that, it was all good.
I'll talk to him later. I don't even remember that, but I mean, your channel is just phenomenal just because of that. And I think all YouTubers are all different. So obviously we're different people, but we have our own, point of view and perspective on things and why we run. And I think most people, when we run, we're happy running, but you were one of those people that when I watch your video, I know you're always going to be smiling. It's going to be a happy video always.
Yeah, so. Exactly. And, I don't put it on. I am just generally happy when I'm running. It's hard to put that on.
So I'm going to ask you, because I know you're a dad. How do you balance working, lockdown, kids, going out, having a YouTube channel? It's a lot.
I think, so it was a bit of a challenge with the whole lockdown to begin with, when kids were off school and you're trying to work. Right. And we're fortunate we got enough space within our home to be able to cater for everyone like that. And we've got enough tech so that they could log on and do their schoolwork okay. Right. So we managed, and more recently, some of the kids, one of the kids had got back to school for the summer term at least. So that helped. And they were all supposed to be going back kind of full time in September.
Wow.
But I think it has been a challenge. Running, I think, has been helpful. And in fact, I've had more time to run because of the lockdown, because other things that you would ordinarily do, like taking kids to clubs, events, and school and stuff, you no longer have to do, So because of that, I didn't have to think, well, how am I going to plan my run in today? I can just get up out of bed. I can go for the run, you know, because I know that they're going to not be going to school. They're going to be just working from home. So I think when they do go back full time in September, although they're getting older now, so some of them, 2 of them will be sort of taking themselves to school, but there still will be some school runs and stuff like that to do. That does have a little bit of an impact. So in some ways it's made it easier in order to get the runs done. And probably, has given me a little bit more time to spend on the YouTube channel and you know, work on the videos. As you know, as any YouTuber knows, it takes a lot of time and effort to put into creating videos that people want to watch. So I tend to get a video out once a week, definitely, sometimes twice a week, and that's probably my limit. You know, people that are able to do them daily or you know, almost daily, you know, well done to them, because if they're trying to hold down a job and family and everything like that, I find I just wouldn't be able to do it. It would take too much time, no matter how efficient you are, you know.
Right. In terms of where you would like to take your YouTube channel, now that we're talking about YouTube.
Yeah, so it's I mean, it's grown quite a lot it's over
growing
the last
tremendously.
6 months. It's grown. So we got to 1,000 subscribers just at the beginning of the year, and now we're on 2,200, I think, at the moment. So it's good. It's good that people are finding it. It's good that people are watching the videos, enjoying them, and subscribing. And so I would just like to keep growing it, really. You know, I'm not. It's nice to have an audience that enjoy watching your videos, you know, and we try to support each other. Some people are trying to sort of follow the stuff that I'm doing, or, you know, they might not be running the same pace, but they might be, you know, adapting the type of training I'm doing and trying to use it in their training. That's always really encouraging to know. I'd like to get a bit more into the product reviews as well. The product reviews are quite good from a perspective of, again, getting found on YouTube, because people are searching that sort of stuff up, whereas the sort of weekly vlogs are more for the people that have already subscribed, the people that have already found your channel, enjoy watching it, and get benefit from that. So yeah, just more of the same, really. Races, you know, when they come back, we'll be going to the races, we'll be doing the race vlogs. I always enjoy doing that. And trying to get some more, you know, some different races. There's some that I like to do every year, and then there's other ones, new ones, that I'd like to do just to get a variety out on the channel, really. So that's the sort of thing, really, that I like to cover.
Right. And in terms of your gear, your favorite shoes, now that we're talking about products, reviews.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I've started to, when was it? It was last year I decided that I used to just run with a pair of shoes until they needed replacing, and then replace them. And then I'd have that pair of shoes until that needed replacing. That was when I started. And then last year I got a second pair of shoes, so I was rotating 2 pairs of shoes. And I've really sort of taken an approach now where I think there is benefit to having a few pairs of shoes and to rotate them and to use different shoes for different types of running. I overpronate, so I need to buy stability shoes. And that does, I think, limit your choices slightly.
A little bit, yeah.
I think there's more options for neutral runners. And certainly some of the new innovation that has been introduced into shoes is more geared towards neutral runners. So what I've tried to do is get a selection of stability shoes that I think are going to be good for me and are going to be varied as well. Because the thing with stability shoes is that they provide stability in a different way. Some provide more, some provide less, some won't suit everybody. And I do think that, you know, you reduce that risk of getting injured if you have a number of different shoes that you're doing your runs in, because you're varying it. If you're running in the same shoe all of the time and then that shoe isn't quite suited for you, then over time you're more likely to get injured, would be my view. So At the moment, I've replaced some that I was running in that had reached about 500 miles. So what's my current rotation? I've got the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 20s. I've got the new A6 Keanu 27s. And I've also got a new shoe that I'm quite excited about, actually, because most stability shoes tend to be quite heavy. Because they've got their stability features in, there's a bit more weight to them. Well, this pair of shoes, which again is fairly newly released, it's very lightweight compared to all my other stability shoes. Now, it doesn't have huge amounts of stability, but it's the New Balance Fuel Cell Prism. And it's great to really see that they have taken technology that they've been using in some of their recent neutral shoes and created a stability shoe out of it. So I've been building up the miles in that recently. I'm nearly to 100k, so I'm going to do a shoe review on that one shortly. But yeah, those are the main ones. I do also have a pair of shoes that I use purely for my speed workouts, and because I wanted something a bit faster than my general easy day long run type shoes, and up until the New Balance Prism came out, there wasn't really a lightweight stability shoe that I could do that speed work in. So I've got a neutral pair for that. Whilst they're a neutral pair, they do have a reasonable amount of structure around them. They are the On Cloud Flow, and they're quite good. I find them quite good for speed work. So that's what I have been using at the track. But I only kind of do that one run a week in them. And then most of my runs will be done in the Brooks Adrenaline or the A6 Keanu. So that's my shoe lineup at the moment.
So you're not loyal to the one brand, like?
No. I and again, I think it's beneficial to have a number of different brands. And I've been quite interested in trying out different brands actually over the course of the last year. Most of them I've got on okay with. One I haven't, but that was the Hoka Arahi 4.
Oh wow! I am surprised. People
I was really excited about that
Hokas.
when I got it. Really excited about that shoe. I'd heard a lot of good stuff about Hokas, and I'd never had one before. But that particular one gives me a blister, and no matter what I do, it's been really difficult. And I mentioned this on the video, and you got loads of comments with other people getting blisters as well in them. So like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So apparently they're quite narrow for. I've never had a wide fitting shoe before, but the normal fit is quite narrow. So maybe that's the reason for it. But yeah, really annoying because I was quite excited to run in that shoe, and yet I can, but not for long distances.
Right. That happens to me with the Brooks Hyperion, which people rave about them.
Yeah.
I keep trying because I feel like, okay, I should give them another, I should run again. Maybe I should just, I don't know, but they're not growing on me. So,
no, you try lots of different things. You think, right, if I try this a little bit different, will it work differently?
Yeah. I keep changing the socks. It's like, well, maybe the socks are like too thick. I'm going to try these, they're thinner. No, because I get the blisters bigger. It gives me a blister in just one of my feet. I think it's the left one. So it gives me a blister in the back.
Right.
So,
it's strange when that happens, isn't it?
Cheap.
Just 1 foot.
Yeah, they're not cheap either. So it's just
No, and it's I bought mine from a website online, and it does make me think now when I'm buying shoes. Actually, I look out for the ones that say you can try them and wear them for 90 days, and if you're not happy, you can send them back, get your money back. I think there's definitely some benefit in that, because you never know. Now you might find a shoe that you just don't get on with, and to find that out in the first couple of runs and then stuck with it, it's a bit difficult.
Right.
So
yeah, and a lot of people, I'm sure you get questions too from people who just started running, and they ask you, so what are the best shoes? Well, the best shoes are the ones you feel very comfortable in.
Yeah, exactly. And I always say to people, because you do get asked for recommendations, especially when you're reviewing stability shoes, because that people are more kind of wanting to know, is this shoe the right for their type of foot? And it's like, I always say, firstly, I'm not an expert in that sort of thing and various conditions that people might have. But the best thing to do is to go to a running shop and get on a treadmill, get them to do a gait analysis on you and run in different shoes and see which one works best for your gait cycle, really. And if it works for that, do you find it comfortable? And go with that until you get some experience in shoes. I always think that's the best approach to use, really.
Right. Do you have any, and I ask this because I see like it could go both ways. So I'm curious to hear about what type of runner you are. Are you someone who is very picky with what they do before a race, or are you not? Because some people are very specific about what you do before a race. Some people wake up at a certain time. Yes. Yeah.
I do have a reasonable, consistent approach to what I would do. It would probably depend, though, a little bit on travel to the race. So ordinarily, the races I would attend, I'd be driving from home in the morning. So you've got to sort of factor that in, I guess. But what I would normally do is get up early, because normally you do have to travel some distance. I'd have my normal breakfast in the morning, and I would have a coffee. So there's a coffee that we get over here that's by a company called Sports Barista, which is specifically designed for runners and sports enthusiasts. So it releases caffeine it has a high dose of caffeine, but it releases it over a longer period of time. So I take that in the morning. And then I make sure I'm hydrated, so I'll drink some water. Then I'll travel to the race. I probably should mention the night before, really, as well, because the night before I'd set all my kit out and everything so that I'm all ready in the morning. I don't want to be worried about that. So in the morning, it is literally just get up, have the breakfast, have the coffee, get in the car, go. And then when I get there, I always try and get there quite early for two reasons, really. I don't want to turn up late, but also I like to capture some of the early stuff on the footage of the video and people arriving and stuff. So do that, familiarize myself with it, and that's pretty much it, really. Then line up in the pens and get ready to run.
Yeah, that's interesting. Some people have to do certain like dynamic stretches or something.
Yeah, you know what? I do have a routine as well of warming up, and I think that is important. And again, trying to prevent injury, you don't want to go out without any warm up. So I would do some dynamic stretching. I would do a short warm up run. Doesn't always happen, because sometimes you turn up a race and there's just nowhere to do that. You know, you're in the pens and
there's no space.
There's no space. Yeah. But my preference would be to do that. And if I don't do that, then I would run the first sort of mile quite slow, just to warm up into it, I think.
Very good. So that was my last question.
Good stuff. It's been really,
good stuff.
Really nice, really enjoyable talking to you.
It's great to talk to you, Chris. I've been a fan of your channel since you probably had, I'm trying to think, I was thinking about this morning. I think when I subscribed to your channel, you had like 150 subsbers or something like that. Yeah.
The early days.
The early days, yeah. But it's been great to see how you've grown it, but kept true to yourself. You know how some people, once they go beyond the 1,000 subscribers, they change their content, they change their personalities online, and you've been so consistent, so yourself. So Chris, yeah.
I think that's the thing with YouTube. You've got to be consistent. There's no point in trying to be somebody else that you aren't really. What's the point in that, really?
Right.
So yeah, be consistent, enjoy what you're doing, and just have fun doing it. For me, it's always been about, I enjoy running, I enjoy making videos. So why not combine the two, make videos about running, you know? So yeah, it's been good fun. It's, as I say, it takes lots of efforts to do it, but it's worthwhile when people get benefit from it, really.
Right. It's like, it's a little bit like growing a baby. You put all your love,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
You take care of your channel, you make sure you curate everything with so much effort. So it's great. I mean, our audience has grown with you, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put all the links below, but where else are you on top of YouTube?
So I've got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Strava. So yeah, all of those links are in my videos as well. So if people want to connect in that way, that's great.
Okay. Awesome, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. It's late in the UK now, but yeah, enjoy the rest of your day and the weekend.
Great. Lots of fun.
So much,
Thanks very much.
Chris. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.